It probably came up a little too fast. I'm going to adjust the time, but he retweeted this. He's interested in fighting Gary Spikel Sullivan. The WBO has ordered 160-pound champion Billy Joe Saunders to take on Demetrius Andrade. They have to make a deal, if I'm correct, by July the 22nd, which is about 8 days from now. Right now it's July the 14th, 11 a.m. exactly Eastern Standard Time. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live with FightView 360. And there's so many questions. Okay, first, let me start by saying this. This Tuesday, on the 17th, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and Dazn, D-A-Z-N, let me pull it up on the screen for you, are going to be having a press conference in New York to announce their fighters. And it's like a kickoff press conference because they're supposed to launch in September. It's going to be a subscription paid service where you can watch on your phone, your tablet, your PlayStation, Xbox. It's not a channel here in the United States. So you're going to have to use some type of app or service to cast it to your TV, whether it's Roku or Fire Stick, or I use Google Chromecast. And it's said that they have around 8 signed champions or 8 signed fighters with world champions mixed in. Names that have been circulating around as Keith Thurman Jr. We've now heard that Demetrius Andrade, who is out of his promotional contract with Star Boxing and Joe DeGuardi, I believe. Aren't they the both? Which one is? Am I confusing myself? I know he had 2 promoters, and it's been a real issue for him for the last several years in remaining active. So, in my opinion, I'm actually happy that he's out of that situation, because now we should, especially with Eddie Hearn, whether you like the fights or not, we're going to get to that in a minute, he's going to remain active. Now, you've noticed that he's been really quiet, right, about the whole Billy Joe Saunders thing, because I don't think that that's what he wants next. I think that he wants to have a comeback tune-up fight, 3 times in 12, 13-month span, which is, something he hasn't done in quite some time, and build up to a championship fight, whereas Billy Joe Saunders, as you can see, is ready. The only dynamic here is, which I want to be sure to try to ask somebody of importance, even if I can't get to Eddie Hearn on Tuesday at the press conference. I want to talk to him and ask, are these fighters, whatever fighters he signs, are they exclusive to DAZN? Meaning, a guy like Danny Jacobs has an HBO contract, but you better believe once the HBO contract is up, he's going to be moving over to that platform. So for fights like Anthony Joshua versus Wilder, Demetrius Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders, will they co-broadcast events? How would that work? For example, it really wouldn't make any sense over here in the United States, especially since they're trying to build themselves in the United States, to have a broadcast with DAZN where people are paying $25 or $20, whatever they're charging a month, and the fight being on HBO as well, something like that. Or in the case of Billy Joe Saunders, he's with BT Sport Boxing Nation, and Demetrius Andrade is going to be broadcast likely over in the UK. You'll be watching him on Sky Sports, but over here in the States, we'll be watching him on DAZN, from my understanding. Or I hate that fucking name. I would have rather been called Perform, like the Perform Group, which is financing all this. But DAZN, it's like some. Let me pull this up for you. This is what it is. It's like it's my bad. I got to readjust that. But this is like what is this? It sounds so stupid. You can sign up for their newsletter, and what you do when you sign up, when you go to Dazn.com, you'll get all the information when they roll it out, like the press release or how much it's going to cost and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to happily pay for it for me and my team. I can't wait, because why? For me, I don't have to go searching around online, to try to find these illegal streams that be fucking, I want to see Lawrence O'Collie fight. I want to see Sam Eggington and those type of people, You know, Josh Taylor. I want to see those guys without having to go through shit. So, you know, for me, over here in the United States, we're supposed to be getting all the UK cards in regards to the Sky Sports Fight Nights and Sky Sports Box Office, I believe. So that's about 16 plus, give or take, cards coming from the UK directly alone. And then we're supposed to get 16 cards over here. I forgot the exact details, but I'm pretty sure 4 are supposed to be like pay-per-view quality cards or something. So for me, it's a good deal. I'm like, oh, shit. You know, like it's the convenience of it, you know. So with that, ESPN Plus, obviously I have HBO and Showtime. I'm going to be getting Epics for the Contender. I'll talk about that in videos later on. You know, like it's a pretty good deal for me. But in the case of this, I want to know if these fighters are going to be exclusive to this, because then another promotional hurdle comes into play where you have to think, well, BT Sport and Dazn and Sky Sports have to come together to make this fight. For me, knowing how promoters work and, you know, from mannerisms that we've learned over the years, especially hardcore boxing fans, it's pretty safe to say that Demetrius Andrade and Danny Jacobs is now on a path in case Danny Jacobs can't get a Canelo or Golovkin. So truth be told, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, I don't expect any major fights from Demetrius Andrade in the next coming, you know, months. I don't. However, I do expect him to be active now that he is with Eddie Hearn, and especially that there's all those dates available, you know, over on Dazn, you know. So I really honestly think that, you know, and it's not just me just fucking sucking dick, you know. People be like, oh, you just say that because you're trying to get in with them and all that. No, listen, like I really feel for hardcore boxing fans. Like, it's a good deal, especially ESPN Plus. Y'all motherfuckers is bitching about $5. So, and I'm thinking, you know, people talk about, like, this fighter shouldn't be making this much and he should be making more than this. And it's like, but, bro, you're not putting into the sport, you know? But anyway, the dynamic of what's next is if this goes to purse bid. You know, people are going to be like, well, Eddie Hearn and Dazn, they're going to outmatch Billy Joe Saunders and his team, and therefore Billy Joe Saunders is going to either have to vacate or fight Demetrius Andrade on Dazn. Yes, that could be a very, very smart move on Eddie Hearn's part to force Billy Joe Saunders to either vacate their title or have to fight over on their platform, which would really piss Frank Warren off if they can't come to a deal, which I really don't think that they will be able to. Then you have to, you know, worry about what if Billy Joe Saunders' team, along with Frank Warren, with BT Sports, says, nah, we got the bread. Bring Demetrius Andrade over here. What if the, you know? So, you know, of course people would say, well, you know, hardcore boxing fans and media would say, well, you know, Eddie Hearn and his team, they got a lot of money behind them. They could win the purse bid. But what if BT Sport intervened and be like, nah, we're going to put some bread up. We're not letting that belt go. And if you really look at the stable of BT Sport, you know, that BT Sport, Box Nation, Frank Warren, you know, umbrella and the fighters under it and everything, you really see that they really don't have too many marquee names. They're new and then try to push these names up. So when it comes to Billy Joe Saunders, he's top tier for them. You think they're just going to let him go easy? I don't think so. But in regards to the fight itself, listen, hey, it's going to be a nasty fight likely. Both of these guys are like counter puncher-ish. It's not going to be an exciting fight. Now, for the hardcore fans, it's going to be real sweet science-y. You know, we're going to be looking at every, you know, single move. And I really don't know if it's going to be any clinching because these fighters are known not to be, you know, clincher. But as far as punch output, you know, I don't expect for it to be a good fight if it does happen. But hopefully, and I did get to talk to Demetrius Andrade before, and he is very good with the media and talking to the media and making sure he explains what he wants to do. I'm going to try to talk to him and say, hey, listen, man, you know what's going on? What the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? We're trying to see you active. The people are asking these questions, not me. Everywhere I go, the people are asking, what's up with Demetrius Andrade, yo? Let's go look at his resume. And you'll see what I mean. 25-0 with 16 KOs. He is 30 years old, former 154-pound WBO champion. He has moved to 160. His last fight was in October of last year against Lantez Fox. Lantez Fox has recently had shoulder surgery and said he was no good in that fight. Whatever the case may be, he lost fight. Jack Couquet in a fight with Demetrius Andrade didn't look good at all. He was huge in that ring, by the way. This was his last fight at 154 pounds. So he did get 2 fights in, which is the norm for fighters in 1 year. So he did get 2 fights in, and he's got to get 1 fight in. And if he fights in September, he's targeting September the 15th. And as you can see, he won Spike O'Sullivan. No mention of Billy Joe Saunders. Not yet, not a peep. That's not his plan. He probably didn't know that the WBO was going to be like, fuck that. We got to order Billy Joe Saunders to fight somebody, And the fans will be very pleased, like, if this fight was to get announced. But at the same time, it doesn't look like that's in Demetrius Andrade's plans. You see what I'm saying? So, let me zoom in for y'all. This is my website, fightview360.com. Undergoing some major renovations. But let's go look at the 160-pound division. Obviously, as you know, Gennady. Damn, I got to fix this. Obviously, as you know, Gennady Golovkin holds 2 160-pound titles, the WBC, the WBA. Sergey Derevchenko and Danny Jacobs are going to be fighting in October. Expect for Danny Jacobs to be at the press conference this Tuesday. I'm expecting he should be. So some fans, some more media fans are not going to be there, I guess. Media will be to talk to him about it. So this fight has already taken place for that belt. You have Murata, who Golovkin is targeting if he beats Canelo. You have Jamal Charlo, who's the interim champion. Jamal Charlo and Billy Joe Saunders can actually fight. There's no, politically, they can make the fight. Frank Warren and Al Heyman have a very, very good, relationship. I want to hear what's going on with Jamal Charlo. And truth be told, that's the crust of the 160-pound division right there. You got, names like Willie Monroe Jr., you got Martin Murray, who's back in the mix. Demetrius Andrade was supposed to fight this guy on next week on the 21st. Hugo Centino obviously lost to Jamal Charlo. And if you look, these names, you got Gary Spike O'Sullivan. There's not really, wild card David Lemieux. If David Lemieux can boil back down to 160, he shouldn't be fighting at 160 anymore. But I don't think he can do good at 168. I think he'll get smashed up big time. But in this case, you got David Lemieux and Demetrius Andrade that could possibly, happen. But the pressure's on Andrade right now because he's been ordered to fight Billy Joe Saunders, and there's really nothing else to it than that. If he don't fight him, fans are going to be like, yo, what the fuck, man? And I guess he's got to say, well, I'm just getting back. I need, tune up, knock some rust off. And but realistically, like I said, I think that maybe he understands the political situation of it. I don't know. We got to get some answers. So the number one question we need answered is, will Dazn fighters be exclusive to, Eddie Hearn fighters be exclusive to that? And that adds a whole different, bullshit situation and why fighters won't be able to fight each other because the network's being involved. And we've been hearing about people talking about, which is true, that networks are promoters these days. But anyway, I'm out of here. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Got a lot to do today. Big fights. Please subscribe. All links to my social media right down below in the description box. And remember, on Tuesday evening, and definitely Wednesday, July the 17th and 18th, I'm going to be uploading the content that I got from New York, from Eddie Hearn, and whoever is going to be there at that press conference. So stay tuned for that. Then we're likely going to do a live stream and talk about everything and make sure, we answer questions. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.